All right, guys, so we're going to start making loops. So let me make a comment here. So we're going to be iterating over something. It's always in sequence. So, what this would be saying is for each number, so for each x, making a dummy variable called x in range of 10. So remember, indexes start at 0. So if we do 10 numbers, we're actually going to get 0 to 9, okay? Now, let's print that value of x. And I'm just going to print this here. Should give us 0 to 9. Perfect. So for each item in the range of 0 to 9, print x. Let's do the same thing, but I just want to quickly show you that if we did this, it would also work. Let's do 6. And this time let's get rid of 0. Let's make it 1, 2, 6. And let's try that range now. So this would give us 1 to 6. I should probably teach how to skip numbers now. So let's do 5 numbers, right? Let's make it 0 to 28, okay? And we're going to skip every 7 numbers. You can be like, how do you skip numbers? Well, also I'm doing 30 because it doesn't really matter. When you're skipping numbers, it's not going to include it in the range because of skipping every 7 numbers. This is what the third piece of the argument is. Now, let's try doing that backwards. So what I used last time. Yeah, let's actually just go with 5. That'd be just 6 numbers, but let's do counting backwards from 5 to 0. So that means we will obviously want to start with 5, and backwards would be -1. And then we're doing it only by 1, so a singular -1, and then should be good. Perfect. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, let's make this interesting. So we've already gone over lists. We've gone over if-else statements. The reason I gone over that in that specific order, so let's try some small example here. Say I have a list, empty list called odd, right? So for each number in range of 1 to 10,000, right? This is going to be a huge output. So I like to make some comments. So we want to make it odd, and we're going to want to append to my odd list. So we're just going to use an if statement then. So if it's odd, let me test that with modulus does not equal 0, colon. Got to make sure you also have the correct indents for Python. If odd dot append, so we're gonna use the append method, and then my dummy variable number. So if odd append the number into that list. And we're going to print odd. Okay, so odd number in the range of 1 to 10,000. If number is remainder equals 0, append. Okay, here we go. So you should get all the odd numbers from 1 to 10,000. Um, so we did a for loop in that, and we made it kind of tricky. Let me teach you a nested loop. So I always think of nested loops through multiplication tables, but it's usually brought through the vector syntax of I, J, K. Um, How about this? Let me teach you this first. So let's do the first for loop, the outer loop, for I in range 1 to 4, right? We're not going to do multiplication tables yet, but I think this would help you. Or at least the people who might need some explanation. How did I do this? Bring, I want a string. Make it I colon. Make it I. Yeah. Oh, I'll make some comments for you guys. So it's just saying for each number I. This should be the same as this, but just make it J. Let's make it let's make it 3 so we can see distinction between each one. Oh wait, and then make some more comments as well. I'm gonna do a new tab. So see IJK, IJK. It should work. All right, it did. So the way this is working is it's looping through, right? 1, and after it loops through the first one, it's going through J now, and it's looping through J. And then once that's completed, it loops to I, the outer loop. And then it's going back into the inner loop. And the reason I made it 1 to 4 and then 1 to 3, so you could see that for I, it's doing it 3 times. But for J, it's only doing it twice each of the times I is looped. So you could see 1 to 4 making it 3, and J is only 1 to 2 because of the range 1 to 3. Now, the reason I always think of multiplication tables for this is because think of like your times tables of like 1 to 12 and then 2 to 12. So or like 1 times 1, and then 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 4, up to 12, and 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, up to 12, and so on. So for in range, let's do 13, so we could do 12. So for each I 1 to 12, that's not right. Let me just copy this. Save myself some time. Perfect. For J in range 1. Yep, same thing. But let's make it J. And then this you might learn some other day. Um, multiply my value of this first value between this, and that should just give me the equals of that. But then I gotta format it. Um, hmm, I have to use the format method. Oh wait, this is easy. I'm gonna have a dummy variable I. I'm gonna have a dummy variable j. It's just gonna be I times j. Okay, this should work, I think. Yep. Does it work? 1 times 1 is 12. 12 times 12 should be 144. Perfect. Let's try 14. And then let's see. 13 times 13 is 169. So perfect. All right. And then let's try 21, 21. Perfect. Yep. That's about it for loops. So I don't want this TD to get too long. I know you probably have something else to do. So we're just gonna do one more example and then that'll be about it. I'm gonna try to figure out something that we've never or you will never touch in a class. I know I've done a couple things that you wouldn't touch, but I want to do a whole technique. So just because there's students who've already taken Python, so I'm thinking the next one maybe something geographical. Depends if I could get the right data set. But yep, I'll see you in the next part.